That better.
There we go. Hello, good evening. Welcome back to the channel where tonight it's time to preview Liverpool's upcoming game against Crystal Palace. And I'm not on my own either. I am with Dave from Dave's LFC Chats. How are you doing, buddy?
All good, Doug. I'm just looking forward. International break is over and we're going to get 3 points against Palace on Saturday. Straight back into it, and it's congestion city between now and Christmas. It's going to be games coming thick and fast.
Absolutely. I mean, let's just talk about the last game. I mean, Man City, was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh, listen, do you know what? That game, I was talking to Chris Pajak about that on Saturday from Redmen, and I was talking to John Gibbons yesterday from Anfield Rap about it. Everybody has a different opinion on that game. For me, I mean, City were actually very good in that game. If you watch that, I've watched the whole game again. City were really good in that game. We took our chances when they came. City had a few chances, didn't take them. Did a penalty shout. We know all about that. But I think psychologically it was huge for Liverpool. It was absolutely. We didn't do it last season, Doug. Ultimately, it cost us, I think, because we didn't beat them last year. We drew at them, and they beat us. They beat us ultimately, which brought them back into the loop. Back when they beat us early in this season. Remember, that brought them back to, I think, within 4 points. We were 7 points clear at the time. We lost that game, and that gave them the belief. And we all know what happens after that. But mentality, psychologically, the mentality monsters, whatever you want to call them, I just think those 3 points were absolutely huge.
Absolutely, and obviously the first goal comes from obviously that penalty incident. We won't go too much into detail over that one, but Fabinho, he doesn't score many, but I tell you, when he does score, they seem to be absolute parlours.
Oh, the fabulous Fabinho, he is fab, that guy. But what a finish! It's actually like a rocket, what do you call it? An exo-set rocket? Is that what you call them? Literally into the corner, like a FIFA goal that you were playing a game, that type of way. Because the ball didn't actually, the trajectory didn't, it just went straight, bang, like a ruler into the corner. But that goal was huge, as you say. They had 1 or 2 chances before that goal. Then they had the penalty shout. I think there's 28 seconds or something between the penalty shout and then the goal. And as you know, goals change games. I mean, and then Salah scores the header a few minutes later, 6 minutes later or something, and it's 2-0 and it's more or less game over. So we rode a look in the game, but I just think psychologically, I just thought it was huge. And Fabinho, some players, he's becoming one of the players now. He's becoming the spine of the team and one of the players that Klopp puts down on the bloody team sheet every game. He's there with Alisson, Van Dijk, Fabinho, maybe Salah, Mane. He's in there.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that second goal, I mean, we'll have to talk about it. Trent Alexander-Arnold with his left foot right to Andy Robertson's left peg, and you just cannot defend crosses like that. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
But, I mean, it was a millimetre away from Fernandinho's foot. If you see the replay, he's outstretched, and if he even gets a tip to that, Salah's running in, bang, into the corner. That's one of the goals of the season for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's probably the best team goal we've scored this
season. What I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Fabinho's is a lovely strike, but team goals are sort of the big ones, aren't they? Everybody's involved,
Absolutely. Sadio Mane likes scoring the third goal against Man City, doesn't he? That's a couple of games now he's scored the third goal against Man City.
Well, he likes diving, doesn't he? Mane in the mirror with a lovely header, a lovely cross from Hendo, though. Hendo did well.
I thought he was outstanding, to be honest.
Yeah, Hendo, the really, really captain's performance from Hendo really was. He's got a lot of stick over the last while, but I mean, he's had a good few months lifting the Champions League as captain of Liverpool. He'll always be remembered for that as Champions League winner or European Cup winning captain. That's huge for him, of course. But he's come on. I mean, he gives everything. He might not be the most gifted player in the world, which he isn't. I'm sure he'll tell you that himself. But he certainly, like Milner, will give everything on the pitch.
I tell you something, the midfield three are in absolute fire right now. I mean, that was probably the best we played against City for a long, long time.
Yeah. Look at Gini. He scored a hat-trick for Holland during the week.
I know.
Wow.
I just hope he can bring that into his club form.
Yeah. The other thing is, though, another big important thing was, I thought during the week, or the City win was, City actually played very well. That's probably one of City's best performances at Anfield, and they walk away losing 3-1. What the hell does that tell you, you know?
I know. It is crazy. Obviously, a player that obviously came into that game and has obviously been criticised a lot on social media, and he's been mainly made a scapegoat. Dejan Lovren, who I thought was really very good against City.
Yeah, Dejan Lovren's been brilliant. I was in Liverpool for the Leicester City game in the first week in October, and he started that day against Leicester, and I was a little bit worried. I met Boya actually outside the ground, LCFC Boya outside the ground, and he even said that he was delighted that Lovren was starting because Vardy would have a field day. But he didn't, you know. Listen, there's always a mistake in Lovren. There will always be. It's the type of player he is. He gets arrogant when the team go 2-3-0 up. He thinks he's Van Dijk. He's not Van Dijk. He's certainly a good player to have in there. But when Matip's in with Van Dijk, it's as simple as that. Possibly even Gomez on his day is a better defender. He's younger. Obviously, he's potentially better. Obviously, he's a lot younger. A lot more pace. But at the moment, Lovren's not putting a foot wrong. So other than Matip being there, he's in, isn't he? He has to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think he will probably play the weekend. Okay, let's get into the weekend's game. And our opponent's Palace. I mean, to be fair, they're having a pretty good season, aren't they?
Well, Palace is always a tough game. It's never easy. Actually, the weird thing is, I think the first video I ever did when I started doing Dave's LFC chats was last season. I think it was a second or third game in. We beat Palace 2-0 away. Naby Keita scored, if you remember. Mm-hmm. That was the first vlog I think I did after the West Ham game. So we've beaten Palace home and away twice in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
People think we have a really bad record against them, but they're the last team to beat us at Anfield in April 2017. They're the last team to beat us. So they've a little bit of a hoodoo, although Klopp has a good record against them. I know it sounds weird, but they're not a bad side. Defensively, they're poor.
Yeah.
Midfield are okay, but up front they're dangerous with the likes of Salah. Keep an eye on him. I mean, the ground is tight. It's a tight ground. It's an old school ground, Selhurst Park. Old school fans and stuff like that. But I think we'll have too much for them. To be honest with you, I think we'll beat them on because I'm 2-0. I'll go for any type of win. Points mean prizes, as I always say. But I just think we're a different team now. We're a totally different team. Even if we're missing one or two, Doug, it doesn't matter anymore. It's not like a few seasons ago where if one or two players were in trouble away from home. We're a different team, mentality different. We're European champions, remember? We're top of the league by 9. We're 8 points clear. 9 points clear of City. I'm confident going into every game now, which is, I couldn't even say that last season, really, especially away from home. But I'm actually confident going into games. I don't know about you, but I'm confident going into games now.
Yeah, I am as well.
You know, and for me, the big thing for me is it's very important to get a win here because City play Chelsea as well the same day, which is a tough one. And Mickey, you know, City have tough games. City have really, really tough games. If you look at the fixtures list, Liverpool's are slightly easier, although we've more games. We've got the World Club Cup 2 games the middle of December, which are going to be awkward. But we don't really play a top 6 team. City play United. They play Chelsea. They play Leicester. They play United. Or sorry, I said United twice. They're so bad I named them twice. And I think they play Arsenal. They have a really tough run. So I think if we can get wins up to Christmas, come back from the World Club Cup, of course, in one piece, hopefully with the trophy, I think we're going to throw the Villa game. I know I hate saying it, but I can't see us playing anybody of relevance in that game, considering we play in Qatar 24 hours later. It just won't happen. You might have 1 or 2 players, fringe players in there, but it'll be mainly under 23s. So you might as well write that off. Away to Villa, I think Villa will probably win that. The Qatar, it'd be nice to win the World Club Cup, but we've a lot of games. That's the only fear I have. There's a lot of games, and it's easy to pick up injuries with loads of games. But I think this weekend is huge, and I'm going for 2-0 Liverpool away from home to beat Palace. Should have far too much of them. I'm hoping Salah starts. I'm hoping Robbo starts. But even if they don't, we've got enough. As you say, Oxmeister's there.
Yeah.
Lallana's there. Lovren will start, I'm sure. So we should be okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, like you say, Selhurst Park is a really tricky place to go to. Obviously, City have won there, Leicester have won there. It's going to be very, very tricky. One player that really does worry me is Wilfred Zaha, but he hasn't been as prolific this season as he has in previous years. Do you think he's still a bit unhappy that he's still at Palace?
He's a bit of an enigma of a player, isn't he? I mean, he should score a lot more goals. He's got everything. He's got pace. He's got pace. He's got power, and he's got a lovely haircut. Now, this is the thing about him. He should do a lot more, but he doesn't. He doesn't score enough goals for me. That's why I don't think. I mean, I think he was at United, wasn't he, originally? I mean, United, and then United rarely let good players go. I'm not being funny, but it's rare. They let Ronaldo go, I know, but they got a lot of money at the time for. I think it was a world record at the time for Ronaldo. But anyway, he doesn't do enough for me. He flatters to deceive.
Yeah,
he is dangerous. Don't get me wrong, he is dangerous, but he just doesn't score enough goals. So I'm not really worried. I mean, if he's all Palace have, we should be okay. They haven't really got anybody else. Who else have they got?
I mean, Ayew has been very good this season, but I mean, he kind of flatters to deceive sometimes as well. But I would be concerned about him. Townsend's a very good player as well. Milivojevic would be a worry as well. He's good at free kicks, good at penalties, etc. I mean, there's a few ex-Reds in that Palace team. Obviously, you've got Benteke, you've got Kelly, you've got Sacco. So, be interesting. Yeah, it is interesting for the very fact that we've had a 2-week international break. Main thing is get back in the swing, get the bloody points, get them under the. Because then we got that Champions League. I think it's Napoli we play next Wednesday. Napoli. That's a huge game as well. And as you're talking about congestion, if say we beat Palace, which I'm hoping we do, 3 points, nice. We're back on the road. Then all eyes are on Anfield for Napoli, because if we beat Napoli, we win the group automatically. We won't even have to. We can put our under 23s out against Salzburg. We can rest all the spine in the team. That's another game we can write off. Not worry about. So you're taking down games automatically. See that's the way I'd be looking at it. Don't have anything riding on the Salzburg game. So I think Palace is huge for the fact that get back into the rhythm, get back into the win. Obviously, I think draws are no good anymore. We all know that. Yeah.
It's all about winning games. It cost a few draws cost us last season as well. But as I said earlier, I think the head-to-head really cost us, to be honest. Everybody said about the draws against West Ham, Everton, United, Leicester. But realistically, that loss against City was the big one. For me, that was the big bloody loss. That brought them back in, gave them the impetus, and made us think, they're on our back. So I think the head-to-head was great, getting that win against City. So we should. That win against City will mean nothing if we can't beat Palace Saturday. It'll mean nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we say, Palace is always a really tricky place to go to. But they're sitting quite comfortably in the top half of the table. I don't think many people would have predicted that at the start of the season.
No, but as I say, I mean, our famous friend Roy Hodgson is the manager, isn't he?
He is.
Pigeon Street. Mr. Bean. But he is the manager, and you know Liverpool, of course, being an ex-Liverpool manager. But we've too much quality. I mean, we can be confident going into games, especially waiting home. But overconfidence is a bad thing. But just at the moment, listen, there's going to be a game where we're going to lose. I mean, but at some stage we're going to lose a game. Nobody goes, 3-4 years without losing the game. It just doesn't happen. I know the Invincibles of Arsenal didn't lose a game. But even us last year, we only lost one game. That was away to City 2-1. So we haven't lost a game. We've only lost one game in something like, 50 odd? So, there's going to be games we're going to lose, or games that we're even going to draw. But I just think this weekend we'll be too good for Palace. We got to start with the right tempo, get stuck into them. Obviously, an early goal helps. Don't give away a goal. Even though we can come back, we're good at that. Into Villa. We didn't play well against Villa, remember, away from home. I thought the first half was one of the worst first half performances in a while.
Yeah.
It took a while to get going. Second half, we got out of our shell. Obviously, we got the 2 goals. A very, very, very late goal. But I don't want that same performance. I want a high tempo against Palace. And if we start with a high tempo, play our game, we'll beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is going to be a very, very tricky game, and like you say, narrow pitch as well, and it's one of the best atmospheres actually at Selhurst Park as well. So the fans they'll definitely be up for this. So obviously team news wise, there's been a little bit of doubt over Robbo and Salah, but like we said off air, they've both been pictured in training. So do you think they'll make it?
Yeah, Salah's a weird one. I think Salah had that thing on his foot because he didn't want to play the 2 games for Egypt. I think Egypt had a friendly or 2, and he was ruled out of them. And he was probably told by Liverpool staff, say, listen, you have a bit of an injury there, but you don't want to aggravate it playing for a friendly with Egypt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it didn't happen, and now he's back training. Now a miraculous recovery there, isn't it? But Robbo, I don't know much more about. Did he pull out of Scotland squad?
He had an ankle injury. And pulled out of the Scotland squad, and then everyone was saying, "Oh, Rob was just pulled out because obviously the Liverpool run of games." But no, he definitely has an ankle injury. I think it
might. You know, people are slagging the international break, but it might have come at the right time for Liverpool with those players. Like Van Dijk pulled out of the Dutch squad after 1 game. I think it was personal reasons. Hope everything's okay. It is okay because I think he's back in Melwood. Someone else pulled out. Salah didn't play. Robbo pulled out. Not someone else pulled out. Gave them a good week. Relax, listen, don't forget about football. So it might have happened at the right time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we've got Shaqiri's back as well. And
Jack Meister came back. Roblox boy.
Yeah.
Roblox boy came back. He was been playing Roblox on the old Sega Mega Drive. But listen, he's another one to have on the bench. I mean, the fringe players have stepped up recently. Lallana came on, got that equaliser against United. Then you had, obviously, Rockwell. You had Ox looks on fire at the moment. He's even scoring for England, for God's sake.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's looking for a start very, very soon. So you've all the fringe boys coming in. The only one I would love to see a lot more of, obviously, Shaqiri. Anyway, you're correct.
Yeah, Aye, that's right. I mean, I think it is going to be very, very interesting game. So let's get into the team. So obviously, if Robbo and Salah don't make it, who would you play at left back?
Okay, if let's say Robbo doesn't make it, which I think he probably will, I'd say, he could play Gomez there.
Mm-hmm.
Could. He might play Gomez. I mean, Gomez is dying for a game of football ever since that Sterling thing, Yeah. He probably wants to get on the bloody pitch and forget about it. And maybe if Salah isn't playing, you'd say Ox, wouldn't you? But I can see the two of them playing, though. I can see the two of them.
Yeah. I'll give you my team, and then you can give me yours. I'm gonna go Alisson Becker, obviously number 1 goalkeeper, so he obviously starts. Trent, Van Dijk, Lovren. I think Rob will make it. I'm gonna put Robertson in there, and then it's your midfield 3 of Fab, Gini, probably Hendo. And to be honest, the midfield 3 were absolutely outstanding against Man City. And then it's your front 3 if Salah is fit of Manny, Bobby, and Salah.
Exactly my team. It'll be his tried and trusted if they're all fit. I think that's his best 11, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's
I think
his
so.
Best 11, yeah. I called it against City. I called his best 11 3 days before the game. That was his 11. He was sticking with Hendo, Fabinho, and Gini in the middle. Obviously, 3 amigos in front always will play with their fit. And then Robbo, you'll have Matip in there with Van Dijk when he's back fit, of course. But at the moment, it's Lovren, Van Dijk, Trent, Robbo, and Alisson in Wonderland. I mean, that's the 11. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Especially away from home, that midfield 3, he's not going to mix it. He's not.
No, definitely not. So, score prediction?
2-0. Mane, Salah.
Mane and Salah. I'm going to go 2-1. I've got a really, really bad feeling they might score, but I still think we'll be too strong for them. I really do.
I don't mind them scoring once we get the points, really. I mean, prediction-wise, it doesn't bother me, but it's all about the points. It's all about 3 points. That's all it's about, this game.
Absolutely. And you look at the games coming up. I mean, obviously we've got Napoli Wednesday, then Brighton, and then it's the Merseyside Derby as well. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say 2 handy games.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. I think Brighton's at Anfield.
Brighton's at Anfield.
Yeah. So I mean, we should be really beating them. They've had 1 or 2 good results recently, but should be beating them. I just think Palace is a big hurdle just to get back into it because we've had that gap. And the City game, I would have liked it a game after the City game within a week because of the fact, it would have rolled over. Confidence was so bloody high. It can 2 weeks, it can, ease off again. But that City result will mean nothing if we don't get the 3 points against Palace. So we got to beat Palace. I'm not even really thinking of the Napoli game. I usually take it game by game. I'm sure Klopp does too. If you're listening, Klopp, game by game.
Game by game, yeah, absolutely. And then obviously, after Everton, we've got obviously Bournemouth away, and then obviously it's that Salzburg game. And then we've got Watford as well at Anfield, and then obviously we go to the Club World Cup as well. So big games coming up for us.
They're all big, Doug. They're all big. Every game, especially in the league, is big because we haven't won the bloody league in over 30 years. So every game's going to be big. Absolutely.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I'm confident. I'm confident at the weekend, and hopefully we'll still be 8 points. 8 points or actually we'll be
or
more. Yeah, exactly.
That was great talking to you, Doug. And as I said, I'm confident. We'll go 2-0 Liverpool against Palace. Hoping Chelsea can do us a little draw there, maybe against City or maybe more. You never know. Chelsea will give them a game anyway.
I'm looking forward to that game, actually. 5:30.
Chelsea beat them last year, remember? But I know it was a Stamford Bridge, but Chelsea beat them last year quite firmly.
I know. I don't think it'll be 6-0 this time, because obviously that was the score between the sides the last time. But I can't see it being 6-0 this time.
No. But anyway, bro, I'm gonna rock and roll. As Liverpool says, this means more. Mine is more means this.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thank you very much for previewing the Palace game with me, and I'll leave Dave's YouTube and Twitter in the description handle on after this. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon. Come on, Liverpool. Cannot have Palace beating us. And be back with more videos very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.